Hello and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time being here, I'm Jenny from In My Spare Time Crochet, and I'm happy to have you here. Now, in a recent video, I did show a number of my crochet kits that I have, and I asked for feedback on which one I should review, and this kit from Amazon was a definite winner. So I have decided that I'm going to review it for you. So let's get into it. Now, this video is likely to be recorded over a number of days, but we will see how we go. I did purchase this kit from Amazon here in Australia. I will find the price and pop it on the screen for you here and see how much I paid. Now, the first thing I noticed is that the one I ordered, or at least the one in the picture, the bag was a natural colour, and it would appear that I have been sent a green one. So we will open it and see if that is the case. I'm sorry if it's quite noisy, but there's no other way to do it, really. It does say it's for beginners, so I'm going to be very, very interested in whether that is the case. Okay, we'll grab everything out and then we'll go through it. Sorry, that's very noisy. Okay, they have actually sent me the natural colours. It's just obviously the little instruction booklet has a green bag on it, but yeah, some pretty basic looking yarn there. But we will see if there is indeed enough to complete this project. So it actually says that it's a phone bag, so sunflower phone bag. I mean, to be honest, I actually don't mind that green anyway. However, I did select the natural, so we'll see how we go. Okay. I have another little booklet, DIY Handicrafts Crochet Kit for Beginners. So we have a list of abbreviations. It also has recommended hook sizes for different yarn weights. It has a UK and US conversion chart, as well as some tips and tricks from working from a pattern. It also has some pictures on recommended ways to hold the yarn and hold the hook. And then it has it actually got some instructions for working left-handed as well. But all it says is simply do the opposite to the right hand. Hold a mirror up to any picture in this guide to see how to work. Okay. It has little picture instructions for how to do a slip knot, as well as chain stitch, working into a chain, working in the round. Obviously fairly basic instructions, but it does have the pictures as well. There is also pictures and instructions for how to do a magic ring, as well as single crochet. There's some instructions for single crochet 2 together, single crochet increase, slip stitch, half double crochet, half double crochet 2 together, double crochet 2 together. There's some instructions for changing colors. I mean, it's not a bad little booklet, really. I mean, whether a beginner would be able to pick it up just from there, I'm not sure, but the instructions aren't too bad. Not too bad. Let's see what else I have here. So I have, the instruction booklet for the bag. In the beginning here, it has some very basic picture instructions for how to do certain stitches. Okay. we've got, oh goodness, that's a very small hook. This could be fun. I have one hook. Let's open that one up. Okay, it's a 2.5. So 2.5 silicone type handle on it. Nothing special, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I hate using hooks this small, so that might be fun. I have two tapestry needles, which isn't bad, plastic ones, I don't mind that, as well as excuse me, as well as another little needle here and a flower. I'm not sure what that little flower is. Oh, actually, I can see now. It is actually a needle threader. The little part on the end is that fine that I couldn't even see it. So there we go. That is actually quite handy if you do want to thread a needle. So we have that as well. We've got some pins. This little container, that's quite handy. And we've got, oh, I'd say approximately 8 little stitch markers as well. Now let's see. So I'll just make sure that I've got all the parts. So we have, actually, I'm not sure. Okay. There is a QR code that you can scan. It says, if you're a beginner, please refer to the basic crochet manual and also scan the QR code to view tutorial videos, which is the best way. You start as quickly as possible. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot there, but that's obviously the QR code they're talking about. All right, and now we get to, okay, these instructions, I don't know how good they are, but we shall see. So it's telling me to start with the curry colour yarn. So it's obviously this colour here. Actually, the browns are very similar, but I don't know. I'm not sure which is which. Actually, the darker one. Looks like the darker one. Okay, it's giving me the instructions there. So, I've also got some, what is this? I wonder if that's stuffing. I feel like that's polyfill. However, I shouldn't need any polyfill for this project, so I'm not going to open it up because it is vacuum sealed. So I'll just leave it. I'm not exactly sure what it is though. Okay, let's go with these instructions. Oh, already we have a little knot in the yarn. That's okay. Oh goodness. Okay, I won't bore you while I try and undo this knot. I will pop back in a little minute after I have made a little start, and I'll let you know how the instructions are going so far. Okay, so far so good. It's had me do 16 double crochet into a magic ring, and now I need to slip stitch. Okay. Place a locking marker, as they call it, into the first stitch. Okay. Okay, all right, now I need to chain 3. Okay, I'm just doing double crochet increases at the moment, and then I'll chain in between. Okay. I think, you know, it's possibly a little bit vague for a beginner, but I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. So I will go ahead and do round 2, and I'll pop back in. Okay, I'm at the end of round 2. Everything seems in order. This is what I have so far. Well, the light isn't that great there, but it looks right. Now, it doesn't tell me to fasten off with that colour, but just before the instructions for round 3, it says with brown yarn, and in the picture, it's showing the lighter yarn. However, when I look at these instructions, they look rather bizarre to me. So it says chain 3, 4 double crochet Q, whatever that means. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. 2 chain. Oh, goodness. At the end of these instructions, it then, once I've done whatever that means, which I'm going to have to look, it looks like it might be some kind of a cluster stitch or a puff stitch or something like that. So I will go and have a look at that. But at the end it says hook and weave at the braid of the previous loop. Well, I don't know what that means. I think it might mean to weave in my ends. I'm not sure. I think maybe that's what it means. I think that's a very strange way of telling me to weave in my ends. Anyway, let's see. Let's see if I can make sense of what this is, and then I'll go back in and see if there is better instructions, and then I'll see how I go. Okay, I'm going to have to use my iPad and try and scan this QR code because the instructions for the 3rd round just do not make any sense to me at all. And it's too hard to, I mean, I thought I knew, but I'm just not sure. So I'm just going to double check and see if this makes any sense to me. Okay, it's taking me to YouTube. Okay.
Now, let's...
Okay, this, the QR code is, it's a little bit all over the place. However, the section I have just found does make me think that those weird instructions were to do with
Now let's change yarn for the 4th round.
Weaving in the ends. Okay, I finally found the section that I need. So hopefully this is going to help me know what I need to do.
We'll crochet 4 unfinished double crochet stitches between 2 double stitches.
Okay, it took me a little while to find it when going into this QR code thing, but I did find it, and I think what the written instructions neglect to tell you is that you need to be working in the little chain spaces. So yeah, I can continue now, but yeah, it's just not really, just doesn't explain it very well in the written way. So I can continue now, I do believe, but I will work on round 3 and then I will come back. I've just finished the 3rd round. It's a little bubbly at this stage, but I feel like it'll work itself out in the next round or 2. Now, again, it doesn't tell you to fasten off, but it is obvious that you need to. And after looking at that QR code, those very weird instructions, hook and weave at the braid of the previous loop, it does mean to use your hook to pull through the end, to weave the end in. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to weave in the way that I usually would, but so far it's looking okay. It's, you know, considering it's a 2.5 and it's, you know, the yarn's nothing fabulous, but it's not too bad to work with so far. Not too bad. So now we're moving on to the yellow. And in this round, it's having me do some 5 double crochet popcorns. It has pictures there, so I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing anyway. However, we will see how we go with that. I will join you again when I'm nearing the end of this round, round 4. Okay, that brings us to the end of round 4. Doesn't tell me to fasten off, but I know I need to. So this is what we have. So it's looking okay to me. Now it's telling me that I need to move on to the green now. However, this is instructions for a green bag, so I know it means that I need to move on to the natural colour. Select the braid needle from the previous loop to start crocheting and start at the corner. The braid needles thing is really confusing me. The hook, I think that means the hook. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, there's definitely some confusing parts in here, but I think I know enough to be able to work it out. I could also go back to the QR code and check that, but I don't think I need to. We will see. Okay. So I think what I need to do now, although that doesn't really help me too much, I think I'm just working into those little spaces that were created between each of the popcorn stitches. So that's what I'm going to do. Follow the instructions that it's giving me stitch wise is okay. It's just that some of the wording is a little confusing, but anyway, I'll give that a go and then I will let you know how I'm going. One thing I am noticing is that the yarn is a little splitty, so you do need to be a bit careful of that. Yeah, so not enjoying that, but you know, all in all, it's not too bad so far. Okay, I just run into one annoying little issue, and that is this join here. So I'm going to cut that and do a magic knot myself so that I know that it's okay. It is a bit annoying though, but on the plus side, well, it looks like it's coming out okay. I mean, it's looking a little tight, I guess, but ultimately it's okay, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and do my own little magic knot, and then again, look, a bit of splitting. You just have to be really careful of that, but it's okay. Okay, I got a little bit carried away there, and I just continued on. It was much of the same. Now, I have to say that the videos that you get sent to via the QR code, they're definitely more helpful than the instructions, I think, just with your starting points and everything. And it has some music playing, and it's actually quite relaxing. I just let it play and was listening to the music and went ahead. So it's, you know, it could obviously do with a bit of blocking, but I think it turned out pretty good. The 4 double crochet granny stitch type things are interesting. I would probably have kept it at 3. However, it's not too bad, and obviously once you join it to the other panel, it's going to be fine. Now, they refer to it as front fabric and back fabric. So I have completed the front fabric, and I will now this is just going to be one plain panel just in this natural color. So it's, you know, it's pretty much the same as I've been doing here, but for, you know, the 7 rounds. So I will do that off camera, possibly tonight or even in the morning, and then the next time you see me, we will be looking at doing the joining it together, the assembly part, I guess, and adding on. Now it's called what are they calling it? Gusset crochet. I'm not sure about that, but once we join the panels, we'll be adding on a little bit of extra up here, and then adding the handle, I guess, and it has a little sunflower. Yeah, this is what we'll be adding, the handle and that little flower, which is the little tie that you can pull to draw it closed. So yeah, we will be doing that the next time that you see me. So, but I don't know, I guess so far I would say so good. Yeah. Hello, clearly we are the next day. Now, I didn't get to finishing any more last night. However, I have just done my back panel for the, what do they call it? They call it the back fabric. So I have just finished that. The written instructions were okay there, but I did just look at the QR code and looked at the link there just to double check, but that turned out absolutely fine. However, I did notice that when I compared the two, there is a slight size difference. Now the back one had me do a final round of single crochet all the way around, which does just, you know, tidy it up and make it look a bit neater. Now the front one did not have me do that. And as I said, because it is slightly smaller, I went back, checked the instructions, and there was definitely no written instructions to do a final round of single crochet. So I went back in, checked the link, and once I found it, there is actually a final round of single crochet that should have been done on the front piece. So I'm going to attach some yarn and do that round, and then I'm going to be up to piecing it together and then adding on the top section. So I'll go ahead and do that. I also want to add that I'm still on the first little thing of yarn, so that's pretty good. I'm going to have more than enough for this project, so that's fantastic. But I'll go ahead, do this extra round of single crochet, and then I will pop back on. Okay, I have now added on that extra round of single crochet, and that looks much better, but I was obviously relying heavily on the videos there to be able to work out that I needed to do that. Now I've just watched a little bit further ahead, and as I said, the instructions, I feel like they're fairly useless, to be honest, at this point in time. But now I need to place the right sides together and crochet around 3 of the sides using right sides together, single crochet around to join them, leaving one side open, and then I will start to work around that open side. So I'll pop back in a moment once I have done this join. I also need to sew in these ends, so I might actually do that as well. I'm not going to use the hook like they do in the video. I'm going to use one of the tapestry needles that they supplied me. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I will be back in a moment. Okay. I have finished single crocheting all the way around, and I've woven in almost all of the ends, so I will fix that one up. Then I will be turning it the right way out, and then I can start crocheting around. But I have to say, it's looking pretty good. Not bad. So I'll do that, and then I'll pop back on after I've done that first row of single crochet, and I'll let you know how it's going. So not only did I do that initial round of single crochet, I followed a bit further ahead in the video, and it said that you needed to do 6 rows of single crochet. So I've done that. I'm pretty impressed, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really happy with the way it's looking, and the more and more that I use the hook, the more I'm absolutely fine with it. It's very comfortable, actually, really easy to use. As I said, I don't normally like 2.5s, but it's working well with the yarn. I've only just started the second ball of the natural colour. I almost had enough to finish this part off, but not quite enough. As I said before, it is a little splitty, but if you're careful and you get in a good rhythm, it's fine. So this is where I'm up to. Not much more to go. I just think it actually looks really nice and neat, and I am very happy with it so far. So all that's left to do now is this handle here, or strap, I guess, and the little what would you call it, just the little thing to sort of pull it in and draw it closed. So the little sunflower and the leaf. So that's not going to take long at all. I do need to go and do a few things though, so the next time I pop back on, they will undoubtedly be finished, I think, but it may not be until tomorrow. which will be in no time at all for you. But then I will be able to also wrap it up and give you my overall thoughts on this kit. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, clearly we are into another day now. Actually, truth be told, it's possibly 2 days. However, we got there in the end. And as it turned out, I did have more to do than what I had thought. I had missed the instructions where you needed to add this shell part on top of the 6 rows of single crochet. So I did that. I then made the little pull thing that goes through it. Sorry, I can't think of a better name for it, but now in the picture it does have it as green, and I do have green. However, I thought it would look better just keeping that natural color through, so I actually just used that color, and I think it looks fine. So got the little flower there. I relied heavily on the video tutorial for the flower. I think the poor English here makes it very, very confusing, and I, even as an experienced crocheter, a lot of this written instruction just didn't really make sense to me. So, and you know, the video tutorial is fairly good, so it definitely enabled me to do what needed to be done. I have plenty of yarn left over, so that was great, no issues there. But as far as the finished product goes, I think it's quite good. So we can, you know, pull that in tight there. I did add, now you use 2 strands together, and I think it was 175 chains. However, I did extra because I am thinking that I may even sell this bag. So, and I envisage that someone would possibly wear it cross body, perhaps at a festival or something like that. So I felt that it needed a little bit of an extra chain. And as I said, I had plenty of yarn, so I thought, why not? But there we go. Feel free to let me know what you think of the finished product, but as I said, I'm quite happy. Now, since starting to record the video, I have rechecked how much I paid for this kit, and it was $27.95 Australian. I will have the link below. There's no affiliation. This is just a kit that I purchased for the purpose of making a video, checking it out. As you know, if you've been here before, I quite like doing the kits and seeing what they're like. Let's talk about, I guess, the pros and cons. I'll start with the cons, I think. The yarn was a little bit splitty at times. As I worked through it, I did become a lot better at I guess holding my hook and just being a little careful to try and ensure that I didn't split the yarn. So, you know, that's possibly one, I would say. Absolutely written instructions, no, you know, and if it's geared towards it does say crochet kit for beginners. So to me, that makes me feel like a beginner crocheter, perhaps even someone that's learning should be okay with this. If a beginner saw those instructions, that I don't even know if they'd go as far as to look at the video. They'd be scared right off, I think. Yeah, really not, I don't think, beginner friendly in that regard. I do think you need to have a fairly good basic knowledge of all the stitches. You would certainly need to rely on the videos, I believe. There is, you know, there is a good voice accompaniment, I guess, with the videos. So you don't always even have to be looking. You can hear and listen to the instructions. So, you know, that was okay. But yeah, look, I don't know. I think con-wise, that's probably it really, because I think looking at the pros, I think number one, the finished item, it looks exactly like what it does in the picture. So, you know, that's got to be a bonus, doesn't it? It looks how it should. So that's a huge big pro, I think. For a crochet kit, I was really quite happy with the hook. As I said, I don't generally like using 2.5 hooks. Anything under a 3, no. But this was fine. I became quite used to it, and if I were to do a pattern that calls for a 2.5 hook, I would most definitely use this one again. Now, I showed you, I think at the beginning, everything that came with it. I feel that they must have a generic pack, I guess, with all of their kits, because it came with pins and some stuffing that I clearly don't need for this project, but I'm not unhappy that I received it because I will use it in another one. I had the two plastic darning needles, as well as the little metal type one. Very blunt, but I did use it for the project, so fine. Stitch markers, you don't need the stitch markers, however, they never go astray, and these are the type that I generally prefer. As I showed you at the beginning, the little threader there, I'm definitely going to use that at some point, so happy with that. It came with plenty of yarn, so yeah, I've got so much left over that, you know, I'll just pop it aside, and you never know, it'll definitely be good for some other kind of sunflower, that's for sure. But yeah, look, overall, as I said, the video, I think if we're talking pros, the video tutorial was certainly clear enough for me to be able to follow. And only really, the only one thing I should have mentioned that I felt was maybe not quite right was the instructions for the leaf. You can't really tell it's a leaf because I've done mine in a natural colour. I do feel like the instructions were a little bit out there. However, ultimately it doesn't really affect the pattern, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, look, overall, I'm not unhappy at all, and I do think that, as I said, I may potentially sell it. If not, I will gift it. But I think if I sold it, I could definitely at least get my money back at the very least. But if you were buying a present for another fellow crocheter or something like that, I think it's not a bad little gift, to be honest, if you wanted to buy something that kind of has everything that you need. And yeah, or pop it on a wish list for yourself perhaps. But I'm going to say this is a win or a hit. I usually kind of do hit or miss, and I'd say this one is a hit. And there were a lot of you that did want to see this one created, so there we go, it's done. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know your thoughts below, what you think of the finished product, and you know, if you thought it was going to turn out, perhaps you thought I might have another little fail. But either way, I'm really happy that I've done it. I do have a number of other little crochet kits here that I will possibly do in the future. Well, I will do in the future, but yeah, I'm glad I can tick that one off the list. So thanks for watching. Give me a little sunflower emoji, give me a little sunflower emoji if you were able to hang around until the very end, and perhaps let me know if there's anything else that you'd like me to review. But in the meantime, thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.